All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. Boy, I just saw you 5 minutes ago, didn't I? Yeah, it's a beautiful Wednesday because we won money again in our paycheck. So far we're doing pretty good in that damn thing. I'm surprised. I expected this week to be a complete train wreck or disaster. I really expected nothing from this week, and I'm delighted that we've won. Let's take a look at our numbers here. We're doing stoutly. We did the paycheck. We're doing the crossbow, the new crossbow, which is a combination of a whole bunch of things. It is the offensive line strategy. So that's kind of the offensive line is the way that I play the line. Like I always do, don't pass bet, and I parlay press my wins progressively. It's worked really, really well for me over the years. I like that way of playing because it's a low risk. It's only one unit of risk. I'm never risking more than one, but I'm progressing on wins. It's great. Waylon has the Baccarat strategy that he was doing the don't pass line back and forth ladder, combining those two, laddering back and forth, and then parlay pressing during the run. That strategy itself made bank every single day. That was a beautiful strategy. I put that on the line here along with Iron Cross. And the Iron Cross is played at a high level. It's basically Waylon's 175 level. It's 150 on the 6 and 8, 125 on the 5, 75 in the field. You're always racking a black chip. You rack a black chip on every box hit. The field gets extra box numbers, and then the field is your pressing engine. And so far, on the decent runs we've had, good rowing, that thing has made money every day easily. Today we lost quick. We lost about $1,200 out of the gate, maybe more than that, closer to $1,500, I think. Battled all the way back and won $800 in the end. So, and again, it took some hot shooters, right? But these strategies, that's what they're made for. They're made for hot shooters, right? Anything right side is going to need a good shooter. And luckily, I finished off with a hitting the point at the very end there and made money. And look at us, we're basically at our goal for the week, right? If you're looking at, actually, we're over the goal for the week. If you're playing $500 a day, your goal for the week is $2,500. This thing has made $4,000 over the course of the days we've played it. Now again, I played 6 sessions here, so 6 sessions should have won you $3,000. We're up a little more than we should be. This is that when Ken talks about the extra envelope for your fun or your experimental money. To me, what we would have done here in 6 sessions, you would have won $3,000 for your 6 sessions. You got $1,125 extra money. What I probably do is put $600 of that extra money into that extra, that fun money envelope, the experimental betting envelope, and I either play the other 600 on some kind of a home run thing or drop it in as an extra day's pay. So far, quote unquote, so good. The Iron Cross is not my favorite strategy. This version of it seems to have some pretty good staying power if you catch a roll. Big if, right? If you catch a roll. But anyway, so far, happy. It's been fun. We actually had a fight back today, so I'm a little bit stoked about how it fought back today. I really was excited to see the fact that after going down so bad, we made it. So that was the best part of the morning. So anyway, there's that. What else is happening? All sorts of crap's happening. And again, in the middle of confirming the challenger, but Sith Lord going for number 6, Corey tomorrow night. I want to thank Nemo for something, by the way. I don't know if you all have seen this, but Nemo, I'm going to call you out specifically. 2 things. One is your video yesterday on the bankroll management was great. Goes into a lot of detail on managing bankroll and recovering and all that. So, your style is, here's the words, right? And I think as an instructor, as you say it and type it, it helps to lock that in. So you all should watch that video from Nemo. But more importantly, we have this from Nemo, which I think is, I just want to say thank you. We opened up memberships here on Casino Gaming TV earlier in the week. I didn't tell anybody about it. I'm not advertising it really yet. But Nemo's our first member, our first paying member of Casino Gaming TV. Now, what does membership mean to you? It means nothing. Okay, I'm not asking you to join and pay me money to get content. I'll never do that on this channel. That's not what it's about. Membership is optional. If you want to jump in and say, hey, we love what you're doing, here's a few bucks every month to support what you're doing, great. Because that helps me be able to pay for internet. I can pay for Jeff's internet. I can pay for Alfredo's internet. I can start spreading the wealth around for the guys that are bringing content in here. So supporting the channel like this, $5, $9, whatever it is a month, just helps us be able to fund some of those things and get guys better cameras and that kind of thing. I'm trying to build this thing into a bigger network of people. So that takes money. So if you want to help, appreciate the help. There's no requirement. If you're a membership at $5 a month or $25 a month, you get nothing extra. The only thing you get is a little icon next to your name. There's no private videos. There's no coming to my house to play. No bullshit. It's just you're showing support, and we appreciate whatever support we get all the time, right? So Nemo, you are the first member. I saw you gifted somebody membership today. That's fantastic. I think that shows a lot of love and support for the channel, what we're doing here. And again, I'm trying to, again, spread that out. I want to get more people on the channel putting content out, and I want to help spread that, right? And get everybody who's contributing, something, whether it's just the internet or whether it's software licensing, whatever. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you're awesome. And way to set the tone for me. Fireside Craps. Who do you want next, guys? Again, I've put it, nobody wrote me back yesterday. So I asked this question. It's going to keep being Ken and Greg and JB over. I'll rinse and repeat my three friends, right? We'll keep doing, and they're good. They're good. I love them. I love them all. But if you want different voices, who do you want to hear from? Who should I have on as a guest? And again, I don't want Fireside Crafts to be an interview show, right? What I did with Ken last week, literally just sat down and we just bullshitted for a couple hours, right? When I do it with JB, I tell him, hey, I want to talk about variants today. And we spend 2 hours talking about everything, right? That's what it should be, like much more Joe Rogan style, right, than interview style. So who do you want to hang out with the next time? Send me a Discord message. Go to Discord. Let me know who can be. And that's what I want. Let me know who you want. What's coming up? Next week, by the way, WinCraps competitions, dark side options. I'm going to go all dark next week. So Vince Armenti, I'll see you in 2 weeks. You don't got to be here next week. Next week is going to be all dark side play. We're going to work the don't pass. We're going to work it with all sorts of odds. Here's what I'm going to try. This was put out to us by Darksider Sean. We're going to run the don't pass flat. My flat don't pass Molly with progressive bets. I think that's a strong way to play. We're going to run a don't pass, a small don't pass with max odds on every single bet. We're going to run a small don't pass with max odds on the 4 and 10, half odds on the 5 and 9, no odds on the 6 and 8. The progressively less odds based on probability, like my 3-point Johnny puts more odds on the 6 and 8, 5 and 9, 4 and 10. On the right side, we do progressively less. Sean does progressively more going to the outsides. We're going to run that. We're going to run a few other options for the don't side. I got 5 at least. Let me know what you want to see on Dark Side Week. If you have a Dark Side play, James Newberry has got what I think is one of the most stout Dark Side plays I've seen. It's a mini ladder. Thing is great. I love it. We're going to run the Andre from Greg next week. So all dark side stuff every day next week, a different dark side strategy, and we're going to run WinCraps to compare them against same dice roll file. So that's going to be it. Yeah, David, get Joe Rogan. Yeah, Joe Rogan's going to come on my show, right? I would love to hang out with him though. But anyway, that's next week. So we're going to do all dark side, all WinCraps, a lot of playing around. So yeah. And that'll maybe kick off a new show. I want to do a dark side specific talk show one of these days. So that's happening next week. All right, what else is going on here? I think there's one more thing to talk about. At least one more thing, right? Hard Hat Awards. The Hard Hat voting is over. I didn't close the poll. I forgot to close the poll, but it's over. It's over, and it wasn't all that close. It was close, kind of, but not really. We had Ed, George, Alfredo, and Duracell. And I got to tell you guys, if you didn't see the note from Duracell, he's like, take all my votes and give them to George. And I'm like, dude, you're doing as much work behind the scenes as anybody else. Like to me, the Hard Hat Award is like, who's putting in the work nobody sees? Like it's a literal blue collar award, right? And Duracell exemplifies that to me. But also who exemplifies that to me is our winner. And the winner is none other than, you guessed it, George from CY. George and Alfredo basically had a dead heat-ish on the website, on the community tab. And good showing. We had about 60 votes-ish, something like that. Check the final tallies there. But George dominated the morning show yesterday, and the morning show votes were 3-1. So George wins it because the morning show votes, he outpaced everybody anyway, plus they counted more. So congrats to George. Now what's going to happen is Big AZ is going to mail the hard hat to George. I got to go get George's address and help that all out. But the hard hat's going to go to Cyprus and it's going to sit on George's table and George will sign it and send it back to the next month's winner. So start thinking now. It's 1st of March. Who do you want to have the award next month? And we'll start thinking about who's going to be our nominee. So get in the Discord again. There's a hard hat channel. Put in there who you want to nominate for next month's hard hat award. And again, it's not always the faces that we see. It's the faces that you don't see. It's the guys that are just putting in time for you guys. All right. So thank you for all the voting. Thank you for supporting the idea here. And hopefully that hard hat is going to be kind of a thing that that's going to be kind of a coveted award come Craps for the Cure 2023. So I think it's going to be great. So there's the hard hat. Thanks for all the votes and congratulations to George, who totally deserves it, man. This work he's doing on the tournament, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes there. All right, let's get a little cup of coffee here. I was talking to El Toro, by the way, a few months back, and he says to me, "You call your show Coffee and Crafts, but I never see you drink your coffee." And it's like I drink it when I'm at the table most of the time. I don't like to be hammering coffee up here while I'm on camera, but sometimes got to. All right, here we go. What's up next? Up next is our douchebag segment. Boy, oh boy, you might be a douchebag if you're a string better. And I know that dealers especially hate string betting. And string betting is, give me 25 on the 9, and then give me 25 on the 5, and then give me $10 on the 4, and then give me a hard 3 or a hard 4, and then they're doing this, right? When it's your turn to bet and the dealers are on you, and they go, from stick around the outside there. When it's your turn to make your bets, have your shit ready. If it's a new set of bets, have it ready just drop it out there, 64 across, please, or whatever you want. Say it in one sentence. Dealers are smart. They do this for a living. They got you, right? This and this and this. The only time you can really say other things is when you have a weird bet. Like me, when I do the Philly special, or if I do something like that, I'll say, here's 130 across. It's going to be 15, 20, and 30. And they go, okay, got you. Done. I don't need to bet each one independently. Don't be a string better. It slows everything down. It pisses the dealers off. It just brings everybody to a crawl, and it just sucks the life out of a table. It really does. There was a guy string betting on Brian's live last week, and it was brutal to watch. My God, the whole chat was like, will this guy please just stop? It's not just bad for the dealers, it's bad for us. Don't be a douchebag and string bet, please. So, there's that. Now, let's work the rack some more. We're going to talk one more time through this really quick, and then I want to hit the tables right away, and I want to come back and finish with some WinCraps. So we've been talking all week about bankroll management, okay? And again, working the rack. I think the rack gives you your information, right? How many shots you have left, what kind of profit you got in the rack. It also helps you track things, right? You can mirror your bets so you know what's on the table. You can have your next bet up and ready in the front of your rack so you can just be ready to drop it out and not be that string better, right? You can track the levels of your ladders. If you're doing that with white chips, you can stack white chips. You can count or keep stats on what's out there. I know Clay does a system where he counts the box numbers with his white chips. He uses them. You can always tell by looking at his rack what the white chips are. You can use the rack to get ready for your next press. In other words, if you're working a press system like press, collect, you can use a white chip and lean it forward when you're in collect mode, lean it back when you're in press mode. And that way you don't forget where you are in your system, right? Use your rack as a tool that it's kind of not meant to be, but we've turned it into that. So be aware of that stuff. Managing your money in the rack. You can use quadrants like I do. You can use a bankroll recovery system, okay? Managing, keeping your rack clean, right? You can use out of sight, out of mind like Vince does, or you can keep it in sight, in mind like Waylon does. Either way, your rack and how you keep your money visible in your rack tells you where you are. It gives you your cues to leave or your cue to go in, okay? And finally, I think it helps decision-making, right? When do you lower your bets? Today was a good example. I had my bets all the way up, right? Today was a great example. We had worked ourselves back to even. We were down $2,000. I worked my rack all the way back to being exactly even, right? Not even in the rack, but my bankroll was even. I had whatever, $1,000 on the felt, and I had 4,000 in my rack. I was exactly back at starting point. Exactly back at starting point. So my rack's telling me what to do at that point. If I'm back to starting point, I could have just regressed everything down to my initial bet and go right back down to 500 instead of leaving it at 1,000, right? If I'm at my goal, that's my cue to regress back and start playing short stack. It tells you what to do, okay? Then you get to decide. Am I gonna leave? Am I gonna short stack? Am I gonna go all in, right? Am I gonna go ahead and be an aggressive person? We talked yesterday about how you play your rack, right? Get your rack clean, right? Get some profit, lock your goal, and then you go either home, in for a small dip, or you go all in, right? Now, I want to talk about the clean rack and the profit piece. I want to kind of hone in today on priority 1 and priority 2. Let's get to clean racks and profit. And to do that, let's head to the table right away. And I'm going to go ahead and I think we're going to do this table view here. We'll lean in a little bit so you can see the bets a little clearly. Let me go and turn the light on back there so you can see. And then I want to work 2 systems today at the same time, which doesn't always go well for me. I get confused sometimes because I'm old. But what I want to work through, let me get the light over here. There we go. I want to work through 2 players' mindsets, okay? And they're both going to have the same target play. Player in the front has got 5, I'm doing 5 shooters with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 70, okay? $350 he's got in his rack. He's going to go straight out at 64 across. So he's going to get from $70, he's going to always get $6 change. Let's get him set up at 64 across. I'm going to go and put him right in the front right away. 64 across with his caps. Now the guy in the back has $1,600, 16 and a quarter. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots of 325. Now what he's going to do is go 320 across. He's going to get a nickel and change. Okay, you can already guess what's going to happen here. I hope you can guess. You all are smart enough players to know what I probably have cooked up for these 2 guys. Okay, oh no, there goes my dice. The guy in the back is going to go 320 across. There's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. Okay, and the goal is going to be 1 hitting down, right? He wants to also play 64 across. Now, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out who has the better plan here, right? This could be on the back a 2-hit system. You could obviously lower the risk, make this 220 inside, grab the 4 and 10 like the squeeze play, and then come out. The longer you have the bigger bets up, the more you risk. I'm going to do 1 hit and down. We're going to do the simplest possible way. Okay, he's going to win $70 and turn it into 64 across. He's just going to come out 64 across. They're not going to work the puck. They're both off with the puck. Okay. What's going to be the difference here is this. On the 0.7 out is where the tail of the tape is going to happen. The 0.7 out, we lose 64, we lose 320, right? The 0.7 out is a $250 difference, okay? So if you get a string of 0.7 outs, this guy's going to get destroyed, okay? If you don't get 0.7 outs, this guy's going to be 1 hit ahead of him on some number, right? But really, they're going to be starting out at about the same spot. This guy will have an advantage on a table where there's no 0.7 outs. Where there is 0.7 outs, he's going to get murdered and have to fight back extra hard. If he loses 320, right, on 1.7 out, how many hits at $14 or $15 does he have to make that back up again? He's going to have about 15 to 20 hits to get caught back up. So the recovery from getting whacked on 1 hit and down is so brutal, it might be almost impossible. But let's find out. Let's roll a little bit here. I'm not gonna roll track. I'm just gonna go ahead and toss dice quickly here. Trust the rolls. I want to stay zoomed in so you can see the bets. Okay, so here we go. Actually, just put this here in the middle of the table so you can see it a little bit better. I think that's a better view for you. Maybe down here. Is that good? I think that's pretty good. Getting a text message. Hold on a second. Make sure it's nothing important. All right, here we go. Coming out. What do we have on the come out? We're going to avoid the come out. We don't care. There's a 4-2-6. All right, both players on with the puck. There's your point. I'll put it behind so you can see it. Actually, I'll put it in the middle. I'll have to move the bets to the right a little bit, I guess, so we can see it. All right, here we go. Let's not have a PSO, right? Let's have a good shooter and not have a PSO. We didn't. 415. So what'll happen here, of course, both players are going to get paid here. The first player is going to be like this. He's going to get paid his 14 bucks. We'll actually do 15 for one for him. 15 for his $1 the first time. Okay. I'm going to half press him. We're going to go half press. So you have $10 bet, half of 10 is 5, half press. Takes $10 to the rack. He's up a little bit out of the gate. Back here, we're going to get paid 70 bucks. This guy's going to get paid 70 bucks. I'm going to take his 320 down. And as often as I can, again, clean rack. My goal always clean rack. Boom. He's got a clean rack. He's got his 5 units already back. He's set and totally clean. Take the 70 bucks. We're going to get $6 and change. There's 65, right? Sorry, 70. There's 6 change for him. And he goes 64 across. Same as the other guy. He's a roll behind. I'm not as fast as David at dealing back here, but it is what it is. All right, 64. Now, he's a hit behind on one number. Advantage, player in the back. He's got his bankroll clean. This guy's still showing all of his risk. See how the risk shifts, right? This guy's got one roll of clenching. This guy still has to work his ass off to get his rack clean. Okay, so when the 7 comes now, big advantage back here. Try it again. You're going to tie a lot doing this, right? Up here in the front, right? Your losses are a lot less expensive, but they're going to come more often. So more often we lose, less often we lose, but we lose big. There's the difference. When I go to WinCraps later, you're going to see this bear itself out. There's a 6. Okay, so again, we'll get paid. Both guys get paid 14 bucks. Already at my bank's already low on chips. We have to get a refill from the guys, right? 14 bucks for each player. Okay, puck will be off. And again, we're going to go ahead and do a 1 unit press at this level. And we both come back to the rack. And again, I'm working hard to get my racks clean. Okay, this guy needs 70 bucks for a clean rack. What has he got? He's got 20. Leave the whites over here. He got 20. He's still $50 down right over here. He's got to work super hard to get clean. This guy's already clean. So there's an inherent advantage back there. 6, 2, 8. Hopefully we have some short rolls here so I can demonstrate a couple of times getting through it. There's an 8 coming out. Nobody, of course, was working. And there's a 5. All right, so here's going to be a quick view of an advantage play, right? This player in the back is going to get paid, we'll do 15 for 1 from him, okay? And again, he's at level just right there, little 1 unit press. He's going to bring back $11 to his rack, but he's showing profit, which is cool. Here, it's $21, okay? He has 15 bucks on it, right? So half of 15 is about $7 or $8. You can decide to round up or down. We can round up and make it a quarter and bring back $11 to the rack. And he's accelerated his 5 beyond him. So there's an advantage here too. We get hot on a number. He's going to be ahead of the game a little bit on one of those. If that happens to be a good one for him, then do it. You know, the option 2 is to, again, we can talk more about this later. What your pressing schedule is can change things too. Like that first $14 hit could have pressed both of these by 1. We could be pressing all the way across. There's different ways to press. There's 1, 2, 3 that make advantages to how you're playing. But for now, we'll just half press the number and just keep it. I want to keep it as simple as possible. There's a 9, 6, 3, 9. So again, both players will do 15 for 1, like so. They'll both go up by 1 unit and they'll both rack 10 bucks. Okay, guy in the bottom, of course, has got profit. This guy here has got 25. There's 25. There's 40 bucks. He still needs some money to get even. Taking him a long time to get even here. But when you're dinking around with little bets like this, that's how it's going to be, right? Half pressing can take a hot minute. That was a midnight, by the way, not a 10. It was a midnight. I rolled the dice. 4 hard. All right, good. That'll pay 18 bucks. I'm actually out of red chips. How am I out of red chips already? Good Lord. Let me change these in. My bank is low. Each player gets a quarter. Make that change on the fly. All right, so down here, they both get paid 18 bucks, okay? Let's give them both 20 for 2. 20 and 20, and they're both going to half press. Again, 1 unit for each of them. You can each bring 3 units back to the rack. And once again, the guy in the back, if I take these out of here, again, I'm gonna need the reds for the bank, has 50 bucks in profit, okay? The guy in the front, if I take his reds back, he's still not even yet. He's 1 red chip away from being even, okay? Which is insane. Here we go. There's a hard 10. Awesome. Good rolling here by the random guy, right? And let's see, we're gonna have to do 18. I have enough whites for anybody. So 15, 15, 18 for both players. We're at 10 bucks, so they each get a 1 unit press, half press, and bring money back. Now, finally, this guy's got his rack clean. Can you believe that? It's taken that long to get a clean rack. All those hits, all that miracle. Right side is hard, man. The elephant graveyard's a bitch, but he's finally got some profit. Both players have a clean rack. Both players can now fill the profit side of their rack, okay? Player in the back that started with the 1 hit and down has got 64 bucks back here. Matter of fact, he could play the next round without having to go 1 hit and down because he's got $64 in profit. He doesn't have to do this, right? This guy here, still in a world of hurt as we go. Let's do it. Not seeing, there it is, a 7. All right, wow, that was perfect timing for the 7, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take all the bets down. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave them out here, like so, just to make it easy to replace them. I'll pay them from the rack here in a second, and let's take a look at where the 2 players ended up, because I think it's interesting. All right, they're back at 64. Player in the front is going to take exactly 60. He has exactly 64 bucks in profit, right? Isn't that great? 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes right out at 64 across, and he's totally clean, right? That was he's burning his profit to do it, but he's clean. The guy in the front has to actually put 64 bucks out of his rack, okay? Even on that great run, there's his 70 bucks. I'm sorry, there was 64. And he's out, right? 5 bucks in profit. Actually, if he's not 5 bucks in profit, he's actually down 60 bucks. He's out 64, he's got 5 bucks here. He's actually down and has to rebuild his rack. What a bummer, right? Again, shifting risk. I'm gonna leave this like this for right now. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. I'll leave the bets out here. Actually, I won't. I'll leave the front guy's bets out. I want to reset the board and just show it again. Let's do that here. Let's do 320. I have an extra red somewhere? I do. Okay, 320 in the back. 1 shot down. The guy in the front, 64 across, he's 1 shot down. And actually, I miscounted his rack like a dum-dum. 65, 65, 65, 65. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't give him enough money to start with. So here we are again. Out of the rack, 1 unit down. Out of the rack, 1 unit down. Let's catch a point. Rhythm, we'll do it again, 6, 2, 8. Here's the clinch. This guy's worried, this guy's not. Well, they're both worried, but one guy's worried more than the other guy is. 4. It's beautiful, right? This pays 100 bucks minus a couple of dollars in VIGs, but we're not going to worry about the VIGs. 100 bucks. His 320 comes down and he's safe. Just like that. Again, my goal always, clean rack, right? Nice, you can go home with 100 bucks if you want to, right? Turn this into 64 across and he's playing again. This guy up front still has the entirety of the risk, right? He's gonna get paid 18 bucks, of course. Press it by a unit and start working his way back to a clean rack, but he's got a long way to go back there. This guy in the front can just go. $64 right away. From that 100, and he'll get $36 and change. Right, he's right back. He's got his bets out plus profit. So the one hitting down works great, right? You're out of the hand in one shot. You got a little bit of profit because it was a 4. You're playing at 160 or 64 across, and you're golden. The guy in the front is incurring risk the entire time until he gets 5 or 6 hits to recover what his spread is. Hard to make money at 64 across just going out there from your rack. And the question is this, right? If your goal is, and what could the goal be? The goal could be pick a number. Pick a number. The goal could be to win 50 bucks. The goal could be to get these bets to look like 160 across. Reasonable goal, right? Get them all looking like a quarter, okay? Coming down from a high bet to your goal weight, or starting at your goal weight and building up from there, what's better for you in the long run? It's an interesting question because this is your always at risk. This is your risk for a very short amount of time, but that risk is enormous. So that's the consideration today, is which of those ways is better. I know some of you will say, well, always go high, regress down, play for free. This makes sense, right? Get the rack clean, start out with profit and just go. That's the idea of the Skill 66. That's the idea behind the squeeze play. Until you start having what happened in the garage this morning, right? I had 3 PSOs. It's more, or 2 PSOs right away. The 2 PSOs right away would have cost this guy $700. And now he's impossible to get back. $700, winning that back from 64 across, impossible. Now, if you're going to be like a Vince kind of a player where you say, well, I'm going to need to have 4 times the bankroll to do this, but every time that happens, I come back out 720, I come back out 1080, I come back out whatever that is, 12 or 12 or 10 20, whatever it is, right? You double, or ladder to recover those losses. If you don't have a loss recovery plan back here, you're gonna get smoked. This will get smoked without a loss recovery plan. That's the difference, right? We can showcase here that 5 times in a row I don't get a PSO, this guy's ahead. The one time he gets a PSO, all that goes away, right? He has no longer got a clean rack and he's got to fight from being upside down. So there's a positive and negative to this, and you have to make your own decisions here. I want to run a little simulation. I want to go to WinCraps and run this in bulk so you can see what it looks like over time against a big series of rolls. So let me come back over to the table over here, and we're going to switch screens. Turn the light off, and I'll switch screens for you. And I'm going to run this exact what I just did in WinCraps. Let's take a look at what happens. Here we go. Yep, Vince says recovery, right? Recovery is you've got to go and go up, and recover down. That's the way to do that. So let me go to this screen here. A second to get into WinCraps. There it goes. Okay, here's WinCraps, guys. Quick little look at the script that I wrote for you. So the script that I wrote here is simple. I have 2 players. One's called across half press. One's called regress half press. Very simple. Very simple. The across half press guy is going to do same bet plus 50%. He's going to basically half press all his bets. If there's a new shooter, in other words, somebody 7'd out, he goes back out at his base bet. His base bet is $10, effectively 64 across. We're going to do this for 200 rolls, and then we're going to reset our bankroll. I'm going to simulate a couple hours at the casino. This is going to be like, instead of doing win, goal, loss limit, let's take a look at what it looks like to go to the casino for a couple hours and see a couple hundred rolls. How did you do after a couple hundred rolls? A different way to kind of track the stats, I think, is kind of cool. If we get to a 7 out and we are greater than 200 rolls per session, right? We're going to reset the bankroll, and that's it. We're going to just get a little count of how we're doing. The other guy, the regress half press guy, same thing. His base bet is 10, but his first bet is 50, which means he's 320 across. He's going to be $50 on a number, okay? And we're going to have this little flag, this little variable I wrote here called OK to regress, set to 0, which means we are OK to regress, okay? What happens is this, check this out. If we get a 7 out and okay to regress is 0, meaning I haven't gotten my hit yet, right? I'm going to add 1 to a variable I'm calling cs10.whacked. How many times we get whacked? That's what I want to see. How many times did we burn 320 on a PSO? Just to get a count of it, so we have a visual on that. If it's a new shooter, we're going to reset the regression flag, and we're going to bet the first bet, 320 across, okay? If anything wins, okay, if any bet wins, whatever it is, we say, okay, well, if okay to regress was 0, which it starts out at, we're going to remove all the bets. We're going to go down to the base bet, so 64 across, and then we're going to set the regression flag to 1, which means don't do the regression. Okay, so now we're going to go from basically 1 hit and down to 64 across, and then all the same rolls. We're going to just check for every 200 rolls. We're going to reset it. Super simple script. We're going to go ahead and run this first. You'll find this interesting. We're going to run this first against my rolls. So let's go to the dice roll files. We're going to pick the John roll. We're going to go from 0. This is 3,500 rolls. Let's run this. Let me turn this down so it goes faster. And you can see, if you can see like the lines, the vertical lines that go down, that's 200 rolls. That's the bankroll resetting. So boom, bankroll resets. You'll do it again here, bankroll resets. Every 200 rolls, we reset the whole thing and see how many times out of 200 roll sequences or trips to the house we won. And of course, I got them both going. You're not seeing the right thing. I got to go half press. Okay, so here we go. The across half press guy won $500. The guy that didn't do the regression against my 5,000 rolls or 3,000 rolls, he won $525. The other guy that did the regression that looked really safe at my table lost $2,400. Why? Why does he lose $2,400? Well, let's go to the stats and take a look. If I go to the statistics and look at these things called check stacks, which is, this is a way to kind of keep track of those variables. Let's look at a couple things. Let me actually make this a little bit bigger because that's super tiny. Wow. Here we go. And I'll actually Control plus, make that huge. Okay. So for the across half press guy, we had 17 decisions. So out of the 3,000 and change rolls, it makes sense. We had 17 times, we had 200 rolls show up. He won 5 and lost 12, right? But the money involved isn't a lot. His 12 losses are less than $64. $64 or less. The 17 times that he won more money, obviously that's why he's ahead. He's not losing a whole bunch of money. He's losing it more frequently, right? But he's not losing a lot. So a 29% win goal showed a tiny profit against my rolls, which is interesting. The other guy, the across the regression guy, here's what happened to him. Same thing, 17 decisions, right? He won 5 times and lost 12 times. The problem with this guy is that his 12 losses are these. Number 10, my check stack number 10 up here is the wax, right? This increase the wax by 1. Where is that? It's down here. I'm sorry about that. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Oh, 7 right here. Add 1 to CS10 whack. Every time we lose the 320, I increase this number 86 times out of 3,000 rolls. 86 points end up with either a 0.7 out or no numbers hit. In other words, set a point, horn, 7 out, right? 86 times he loses 320 out of 3,000 rolls out of like, I think it's like 600 shooters. Okay. That's a lot, right? You lose $320 86 times. That's why you don't recover fast enough. Now, all the other times that I can show on the table here, it'll be fine. But that one hit and down, it's an ass kicker because you got to come back 86 times from 320. Really, really hard to make that up unless you do some kind of a laddering thing and then you need enormous bankroll. So that's look at it number 1. Let's reset everything. Let's go ahead and do a game. We'll do a new game. I have no idea what's going to happen here. This will be a news to me. Current session not saved. No. Okay. Let's change the roles. I'm going to take this screen out. We're going to go ahead. Action. Roll files. I'm going to change the roles. File. Open. I'm going to go to this 50K roll. Okay. This 50,000 rolls is a roll file that was given to me by a subscriber who actually wrote down on pen and paper 57,000 rolls from the casino. So this is not RNG, but it is random. It's literally what came out of the casino during his trips over the course of however long that was, okay? Let's run the exact same two strategies against 50,000 actual casino rolls. This will be an interesting, I haven't done this one yet. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but let's run it and see what happens. Just across, let's start it up and see what goes. I have no idea what's gonna happen. These guys could make a fortune. They could both lose their ass. I have no clue. But let's see. And again, we're doing about 120 rolls an hour. So this is simulating about an hour and a half or so of gameplay with each of those downward spikes. We'll let it run here for as long as you want. While it's running, let's look at chat here. Let me see if there's anything PC or Q that I can do while you're watching the graphs move. I love watching WinCraps graphs. Look at, by the way, the same set of rolls. I'm going to stop it here in a minute, and we'll pick it up again. I want to get a good sequence here that'll highlight. Oh crap! I'm going to highlight a good one right there. Okay, look at. Before I continue, I want you to look at this. This guy here, the bottom guy, is the regression guy. Okay, the top guy here, of course, is the across better. Here's a downward spike. Can you see this here? This big. Look at that big down spike that we've got here. I think if I do this, can I circle it for you? Let's do option 1 right here, this big down spike. You see that, right? The same downward spike happens over here, okay? This is obviously a run of a bunch of 0.7 outs or a bunch of really short rolls, right? Look at how they both experienced the same set of shit. One guy who's regressing from a high number gets destroyed in there. Like that's him losing thousands of dollars, right? The other guy up top is losing, but he's not losing his shirt. Okay, this is something that we had talked about with JB a while back. The illusion of losing less money more often versus a lot of money a fewer amount of times, right? You can be comforted in either situation. At the end of the day, though, the big money here is kind of hurting this guy. So I thought I would show you that when it comes up like that, you can really see how they both experience those peaks and valleys. Anyway. Dice Dr. Dan wants to know if I have coffee cups for sale. Yes, I do. I will give you, I'll put them out there soon. I actually have ProCraps Coffee and Craps mugs. If you go to the YouTube ProCraps website on YouTube, there's a little store. You can hit the store, you can buy shirts and mugs and everything else. I don't advertise that stuff. I'm not about all that. I will eventually put that out there. Let's see what happened here. We stopped at 10,000 rolls. I put a stopgap in at 10,000 just to keep this thing from going too long. So we stopped at 10,000. But yeah, I'll make an announcement next week, Dan, about how to buy merch if you want it. Here we go. How did we do? Well, we both got our ass kicked against random rollers. The across half press guy, the 64 across guy, lost $6,900, which blows. The regression guy lost $9,900, so almost $4,000 more. And again, those $320 shellackings, super hard to come back from, right? Regressing one hit and down works great. It works great when you're not getting the immediate sevens. It works great. When you get them, it is soul crushing to come back if you're going to same bet it or if you're going to half press it. If you're not going to ladder up out of a loss like that, you're not going to be able to make it. Laddering up after those losses, though, also on multiple successive come out sevens, you compound the problem, okay? So I think what I should do here is write another version of this. I can't do it this morning, obviously, but I'll write another version of this that has that built into it. But you're gonna see that thing requires, probably $10,000 or $15,000 in bankroll to get through. So I hope that was interesting to see the difference there. And they both, made about the same money. At their high point, they were both about $7,500. So there's no advantage to either play, right? In terms of overall financials. If I go back and rerun mine, let's do it really quick. Let's go back to the action. Let's do the roll file, dice roll files. We'll do my roll file this time. We'll open the John file. Let's do a game new. We'll reset everything. I don't want to save the session. I don't want to do anything else. Let's close this down. And we didn't look, when I did my files, about how this thing, how the upward swing, okay? And again, The other one, I want you to note this, right? That was 10,000 rolls from random shooters on a craps table, okay? The most these guys made was $7,500, okay? This is against my practice rolls that you're seeing here. And again, I'm about 600 rolls off. I hit my 4,000th roll last night. I'll have to remake this file. Here we come to the end. It's almost there. Why is it doing, oh, I'm on the wrong file. Why is it, hold on, stop. That should be, I messed up. I think. Game, new. I think I did the wrong thing. Statistics. Dice roll files. John, play. There we go. I didn't turn it on. Run it again. Sorry about that mistake. This will just take a minute to get through the end here. I want you to look at the total profit. And again, look at the spikes, right? They're both losing and winning at the same times, but look at how much more jagged the regression player is. He's losing so much more and winning so much more, it looks like, in those good spots. Very interesting. Okay, now we're stopped. Look at the totals, by the way. We know that the regular guy wins $500. The regression guy on me loses 2,000. Look at over here though, right? They're at their high point. At their high point, both of these guys won about $9,500 on me, right? That's pretty cool. Think about that. I had some really good rolls in those practice sessions. So against my controlled shooting, those two guys, literally 64 across half pressing, at some point had both won almost $4,500 in profit on one shooter. That's pretty cool. So again, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that my rolls outperform random as far as financials go. That's pretty fun to watch that. All right, there we go, guys. Let's get out of here. Let's get this thing closed down. Let me go over here. Hold on a second. Let's do this so you can see me. See my lovely face again. Let's see, I gotta get this screen closed. There we go. All right, cool. That's it. That's my spiel for today. Boy, I wish, I wish, this is gonna sound stupid, but I love this show so much. And I love my podcast a lot. I wish that Coffee and Craps could be turned into a podcast. Like I'd love to upload this to like Spotify or something to listen to it the next day for folks that wanna walk their dogs and crap listening to the show. It works well for that. Except for days like this, where I'm showing WinCraps and I'm showing rolls. It doesn't work audio only. I wish there was a way to be a better orator and talk through what you're seeing here. But anyway, 9 o'clock, folks. That's it. That's our show for today. Let me check one last time for questions over here. Give me a second to log in. PCs. Dr. S, this time, no. Win goal programmed in, no. So normally I do that. Normally in WinCraps, let me go back. Do you want me to show you this real quick? I think it's a great question. Let me go back to WinCraps and show you how I do it. I've showed this before. There it is. Okay, so these strategies, Dr. S, look like this. So here, my stop thing is this. If I have 200 rolls, okay, and what we say is, well, if on the 7 out, if the number of rolls is greater than or equal to the number of rolls I want to look at, 200 rolls at a time, then we're going to add 200 more rolls to the counter. So the next 200, I stop again. This simulates that. That's how I did it this time. I also stop automatically at 10,000 rolls. I have another strategy. Let's add a new player here. We'll add a player. We'll say yes, John. For 5,000. And so this player here, the John, I'll show you his, I'll just pull up a different script. John will open a different betting script so you can see it. Let's do, I think the Molly does this. Yeah. On this one, I coded it with a win goal. So here's a win goal of 10%, a loss limit of 20. And on this one, we go, if the bankroll is greater than the bankroll, plus the win goal, which means we won our goal, I add 1 to our win count and I calculate the percentage. If the bankroll is less than the bankroll minus the stop loss, I add 1 to my losses and I count the decisions and I change my bankroll up. So this is an example of a script that has the stop loss win goal built into it. The other one today had the one with the 200 rolls built into it. Somebody had asked me to do this instead of win goal loss limit, to do it with a number of rolls to simulate actual casino play. Like go to the casino, play for 2 hours, and jump on out of there. So yeah, you can do it either way. I chose today on these two to show you it with the number of rolls versus a win goal loss limit thing. So easy to switch them out. The thing I've asked Steen to do for me, it's hard to do this, but I want him to make this logic a WinCraps option. Like I'd love to have this here. If I go to like, oh crap. Sorry, if I go to like the game configure screen, not the configure screen, sorry. Not that one. I want if I go to the game autoplay. I think it's autoplay, right? Or auto bet. Autoplay. This screen here, I'd love for this screen to have the option to put in reset the bankroll after win goal of X, loss limit of X, reset the bankroll after X number of rolls, and have an option here that we could just, instead of all this, have it up here in the initialize area and say auto handle win goal equal blah, blah, blah. I'd love to have it like a one-liner to just do this and then have a statistics screen that shows that. That'd be fantastic, right? So I'm trying to get with Steen to see how that would work. Because I do this, I know you all do it too. When you do WinCraps scripting, this is a lot of work to manage all this crap down here. And it's just like every script I write, I paste in the same stuff. You know what I mean? I'd like it to be a little bit easier than that. Hopefully he can figure out how to do that, because that would save us all a lot of A, time, and B, give you some really cool like options in here to be able to play things different ways. I think that'd be kind of fun. So anyway, that's sort of like on my wish list for WinCraps, because I like to test both ways. I want to see, how does strategy work over 1 billion rolls? How does it work win goal loss limit? How does it work over 200 rolls? How does it work negative bankroll like Vince does? I want to get those options in there. So there it is. Yeah, add a script rank service on my store. No. I'm gonna do I'll put them up on GitHub and you guys can download them for free. I won't charge for those things. But there's goodness in there. And I think that as a group, you guys are asking the right questions. Can you do this in WinCraps? Well, I'll try. And I do it. And then what happens is Steen watches the show and goes, oh, that was a good idea. Or you did it wrong. And we kind of improve as a group. It's actually kind of sweet. All right, let's go to the questions. Any questions? Let's see, 555. I don't know what you're talking about. Is this from my beginning dirtbag or my douchebag thing? Yeah, string betting is totally douchebag move. It's so annoying. You gotta watch the Hawaiian Crap Shooters live from last week. They did a live show and they had somebody at the end of the table who was string betting so bad. Every roll took probably 3 minutes between the dice in the person's hand to them throwing it, because this one guy was going $1 here, $1 there. He was like, it was brutal, man. It was brutal. So yeah, string betting is horrible. All right. Let's see. Dice Doctor, yes, and you can do that. Sometimes when you paste from Word into a program like this, the single quotes or double quotes get messed up because Word likes to format them. So yeah, you can. Text files are better. Straight up, like from Notepad, is the best way to do it. All right, so let's see here. I think that's it. Is there any more clarifying? I know that Vince and Dr. Rush are talking about the scripting question, and I don't know if I answered it completely or not. Let's see. I don't know if I addressed it right. I know that doing it with win goals or roll limits or whatever it's there's reason to try both ways. So I think whatever, we can always change it up. I wish there was the option, make it a lot easier. So all right, let's get out of here, guys. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'll see you tonight somewhere, either on one of Jeff's shows or I'll be out practicing or something like that. So I will see you later. Thanks again for joining. Thanks for watching both shows. I really, really, really appreciate it. Can't tell you how much it means. And again, thanks to Nemo for being the first ever subscriber to CGTV. You are awesome. Thank you so much. You all have a great day, and God bless you all. See you tomorrow.